So let's get into it. As you all know, as I mentioned at the start of the show, Edge, the rated R superstar, made his long anticipated return 9 years after retiring the night after, I want to say WrestleMania 27, yeah? The night after WrestleMania 27, Edge had to retire, maybe the week after that, but he had to retire after defending the title against, I think, Alberto Del Rio at that WrestleMania. What a moment it was. So I think basically what happened was, I think it was about maybe number 25 or something like that. Might have it wrong. It was late over here, believe it or not. But the buzzer goes, "You think you know me" hits. The crowd go absolutely insane. What a pop this was. Edge comes out looking fired up, looking emotional. It was one of those moments. I know WWE love their moments, but this was just a great, great moment that will be played back for years. And yeah, just brilliant. I mean, we were speaking about it for months, really. I mean, if you go back to SummerSlam, I believe was it the pre-show? I think it was Dolph Ziggler who he hit a spear on, like he did last night. I think it was Dolph Ziggler who he hit a spear on the pre-show, which I actually missed because I was out getting something to eat. But yeah, and we said on the show after that, look, if Edge has been allowed to hit his move on a wrestler in that ring, he must have been cleared in some way, shape or form. Because when you look back at history, it's not like, I've got inside information telling me this, but if you use your educated mind, you go back to a Daniel Bryan. Now, Daniel Bryan was in all those storylines with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn for months. And WWE did not let him lay a finger on those because he wasn't cleared. Unless you've been cleared, WWE are not going to let you be involved in any sort of spot or anything like that. So it was a big sign when they permitted Edge to be involved with this at SummerSlam. After that, there's reports flying about all over the internet that Edge is coming back. Edge himself was quick to shoot these rumours down on his Twitter account, I believe. But that just teaches you one thing, doesn't it? You can't really believe what a wrestler says on the internet. It does sort of open the floodgates now for when other wrestlers shoot things down on the internet. People are going to say, oh, well, Edge shot down that he was returning. Look at him, he returned. So maybe next time wrestlers are denying that there's any relationship between New Japan and AEW. CM Punk's telling people he's not coming back. People are going to be even more less declined to believe it than they already were. But as I say, this story seems like it's been going on for months. We've spoke about it in the Royal Rumble pre-show. We all expected it to happen. I think Edge returning. It was sort of like everyone knew, but they didn't. He even cancelled his podcast. What was that? September, October time with Christian. You had Christian on the pre-show. All the signs were there, but let's not get away from it. It did not take away one little bit whatsoever of that moment when his music hit. I lost my shit. The crowd lost the shit. Even the WWE cameraman lost his shit as unbelievably. Well, it wasn't even the cameraman's fault, was it? It was whoever's doing the production backstage decided to have the camera pointed at the crowd when Edge hit his first spear on, I believe, Dolph Ziggler. His first spear back in a WWE ring for 9 years, and they were pointing at someone in the crowd. That is the richest wrestling company in the world making that mistake, but unforgivable in some ways. But it still didn't take away from anything. Great moment. The crowd are going crazy. Edge looked like he was tearing up. Obviously not having wrestled for 9 years, he looked great. Obviously he's 46 years old now. But he looked sort of in better shape aesthetic-wise than he did when he was last wrestling. Even Randy Orton sort of pointed that out when he was like looking at Edge's stomach. But just I don't even know what to say. Just a great, great moment. And the big news that is sweeping the internet this morning, it does appear that Edge has signed a 3-year contract with WWE to wrestle. We're hearing pretty regularly. 3 years, that will see him through to the age of 49 years old. So you'd expect to see Edge see out his career with WWE. But big news to start the decade. Edge back in a WWE ring. And now the big question is, are we going to see him at I don't know what they call in the Saudi Arabia show, Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia on the 27th of February, which was announced. Are we going to see him at WrestleMania? Who is his opponent going to be? I mean, we can speculate who his opponent will be. He turned on Randy Orton last night, his former Rated RKO tag team partner. So I don't really feel like that is the match to do at WrestleMania in front of that WrestleMania crowd. But it would not surprise me to see at Super Showdown maybe Edge versus Randy Orton in Saudi Arabia. And then I was thinking this last night when at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm laid in bed thinking, who can they have Edge face at WrestleMania? And I'm going through this list in my mind. I'm thinking I'd love to see a Daniel Bryan match. I think the sensible option would be a Seth Rollins. As we said on the show last week, you've already got that angle where Seth had Edge's head on the Money in the Bank briefcase about to hit the curb stomp, unless I think John Cena reinstated the McMahons back to authority at the time. So you've already got that ready-made story right there. So for me, I think Edge versus Seth would be the good way to go. It's a big match. Seth is, as much as we can criticise Seth, he's a very good worker for Edge's first huge match back. So yeah, exciting news. Edge back in WWE. My question is, why did it take so long? Obviously the neck heals, but 9 years. Could we not have seen this a little bit earlier? As I say, he's 46 now, but hey, Chris Jericho, look at Chris Jericho, he's still smashing it out of the park at what? Is he 49 years old? But yeah, so great news last night. Edge back in the WWE ring, and I'm excited to be there at WrestleMania, hopefully for one of his first matches back.